Let's see what's going on. Hey, starting with the trailer. That's a good move. I'm surprised they didn't do this on the Russian stream, actually, like starting with the trailer, because the teaser trailer is a banger. Like it's a really good one, and I hope they continue to do these ones like going forward. I think it's a really good way of teasing the update. Have I seen any of this stream? No. I got a little bit of a quick recap from some of the guys, but that's about it. So I'm going into it blind. I thought that would be the best way to do it, right? So that's how we're going to do it today. I've got one of those.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the War Thunder official channel. My name is Marcus Boom and I'm joined by the lovely Tom, aka Oxy. And today we have something special for you, don't we?
We certainly do.
They're slightly off center.
Presenting you a preview of some of the things that are to come with the next update.
They need to just shift the camera a little bit,
which
or
is
one of them a little bit.
I'm probably going to botch this because I don't actually know how to pronounce this properly. Ixwa something?
I don't know.
Ixwa.
As far as I'm aware, it's basically
like with a K.
Spear.
Yeah. I tried to Google it, but I couldn't find the answer. So I just thought I would not even try because it would be a disaster if I did.
Maybe someone who knows Afrikaans can send us a clip later on how to pronounce it properly.
Yeah.
How about we do
it is a really
right
weird
into it and not
really
waste
weird
much time. We are going to start off with a bit of a different layout this time. We're going to start off showing off all the aircraft, or at least some of the aircraft we can show you today.
There's those beautiful Mavericks.
Tanks, then we're going to switch over to ships.
By the way,
so
is the audio okay? Like, let me know, guys.
To see different things. Okay. Yes. We're going to start off with the A7D. This is not a new plane. This has already been in the game for a while. But it is getting a new type of ammunition in this patch, which you might see over here.
Thank you for the subscription,
bud. Maverick. This is a fire
Thank
and
you
forget
for continuing to support us.
tracking
It's very kind of you, man.
Meaning it can lock onto a ground target by itself.
So the A7D is going to have a ton of different stuff in it.
That ground target by itself. The missile does this all by itself, whilst you can just fly away. And it is quite a powerful missile. I'm going to show you some of the other options that you have with this.
Good old fire and forget, baby.
Match it. You can have up to 4
It's going to be the big next step in War Thunder, I think.
Ordnance. You can have 4 of them with the A9Js as well, which is quite powerful for multi-role power. But it's also going to make you quite heavy. And of course, the base A7D platform is still quite powerful. Now we're actually going to test this out.
I wonder if you take the guns or the Mavericks in ground realistic.
Invite me into a custom battle. And we're going to test this out versus a tank, just to show you some of the things that this missile can do and that it can't do, because there are some things that it can't do.
Did he change his name to Gloomy Darling?
Okay, good to go. Let's go. So, the AGM-65 is optically tracked. It's not laser guided. What this means essentially is that the missile has to be able to see the target. And this depends a lot on the conditions of the battle you're currently facing in. We're going to do this in a mock battle here.
The question is, will the AA know that it's locked, actually?
Very wide open area and full noon. And we're going to see how this
works. Yeah, they said on the Russian stream these don't work in the dark, so that's quite important.
Now, some of you might have seen the stream of our Russian colleagues a few hours ago. We are going to be showing mostly the same things, but also some new things that weren't shown on that stream. So stick around. We will be showing some maybe Italian stuff. I know Tom is very excited about some of that.
Oh yes, it's the camo, man. Does me every time.
Alright, we are in the battle. I'm going to switch over to a new view we have, the TV camera, with which you can actually look around without affecting your plane itself. And I gotta see if I can.
So it looks like it's mouse guided.
Huh?
So you'll still be able to keyboard guide the plane.
I'm so good at blending into the scenery.
I mean, you kind of are. You do have the camo for it.
Kind of, I guess.
Hold on, I think I see. Can you fire in the air real quick, just to see if I can see you?
I can do a little pew. There we go.
I don't think I spotted you there.
Is he in the other spawn?
I'm trying to. This is all live. This is all live. Ah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to switch over to TV view. I'm going to lock onto him. There we go. Missile is locked. Fire and forget. The missile is not tracking itself. I'm going to switch over to Tom's POV. As you can see, he is moving and just died.
I was indeed.
GG.
Yes.
No re.
So, the missile knows where it is by knowing where it isn't. It can track itself. It can track the enemy.
That's gonna
Which is
be
completely
so
autonomous.
annoying, especially
But
since I was like a launch
there's the
range of
counter.
6 kilometers.
There is.
You can try
Just
against
stare
it.
at the spawn, wait
will
for somebody
give
to
it a go.
spawn in, boom.
Since the missile is
Bye.
entirely dependent on being able to see the target, much like actually the closest equivalent.
This is where
equivalent we
APS
have in the
systems
game
are going
right
to be
now
a
is
bit more
the,
useful,
Pirates
especially
missile on
the passive
Tiger
ones
Woods
especially.
Helicopter.
Oh,
That is very similar in that it is also optically tracked. Well, that one is actually kind of laser tracked, but it can track itself. And you can defeat it by using cover or using smoke screens, which is what Tom is going to try right now.
I will give it a go. I will perch on top of
Let's
this
see if I can find
dune
you.
here. Hello,
Aha, there you are.
hit me.
right.
Okay.
So
I'm
lock,
locked on. I fired the missile.
fire.
Okay.
It looked like he was
Missile is
floating
off.
there.
Tom has used his smoke screen. You may not be able to see the missile too well on the stream.
Wonder if you can follow the missile.
You went outside of the smoke screen.
I did, I think. I thought you were coming in from another
damn
angle.
it.
That's my
Try
bad.
again, try again.
Yes.
So you kind of have to stay inside of the smoke screen for it to work properly, otherwise the missile will reacquire you.
Yes, I will.
I will do another
depth
pass
there.
around.
GG.
Okay,
So you're still
right,
kind
I
of
got
stuck
you.
in that area. So
This time
the
stay in
missile,
smoke screen.
well, the missile like
It's driving a new tank, by the way, which we will show
self-explode
you a bit
itself.
later on as well. Okay, whereabouts are you? There you are.
No, it's, this thing's
I
got
see you.
APF SDF.
Missile is tracked, missile is fired. Smoke has been popped off.
So will
Missile is
it?
flying in that direction, and it's self-destructed.
Right. Okay. It
The missile
self-destructs.
does actually
Okay.
self-destruct itself if it loses tracking for too long. That is one way of defeating it.
Right. So it doesn't
Now, as
just
you saw,
follow
it
the
can
line.
reacquire
Okay,
lock
that's
by
good then.
itself.
Because if it
So
followed the
if
line, you
tank
still might
that
be
is being
screwed
fired upon
if you're in a
leaves the smoke screen. The missile will
a low
retrack
armored
it,
vehicle.
so long as it wasn't too long ago. But if you stay in the smoke screen, the missile will auto-destruct itself. So that's one way of countering that quite effectively. Next up,
I really like this, the background they have
that
here.
Tom is quite excited about,
Plane.
aren't you?
Yeah,
I think it's a
I
really
like
cool
the,
one.
The weird stuff. Not necessarily weird, but the things that are kind of not as well known, I guess. That's the kind of my jam. So this is the new Fokker, a very nice boy.
I wonder
I
if you
do
take
so.
this over
And this is the
the
version with the 20mm
the Mako Moran.
and these little pods here. They're not the
I hope they
best
get a
cannons,
standard
they're
tech tree
some of
variant
the,
too.
well, worst performing 20mm cannons, the early ones, but the flight performance of this thing regarding maneuverability is very, very nice. Maybe I can give it a little test flight and show that off very, very briefly here. It's a very nice plane. Not really super well known, I guess. Well, I mean, in terms
This
of
is
regular
going to be a G
circles, but
vehicle, right?
for the aircraft itself.
Because this
it's very,
looks
very
kind
pretty.
of
It reminds
primed
me
to
of,
be a beginner's pack
the
vehicle too,
T-27 a little
if
bit,
they don't
just,
go
with
for
the extended
the
landing
Mako
gear
Moran.
and the sort of overall small size, but it's a very, very nice plane with the sort of connected flaps there as well. Just landing flaps, no combat flaps, and they are a little bit fragile. But still, for what it is, it's pretty maneuverable. Nice little plane, and especially for 2.0s, it can, matchmaking's going to be quite fair to it. With the 20 mils, it's pretty
Yeah,
effective in that
the
regard.
only question for planes
So
like
it's a nice
this
little
is
addition.
like CW21s and
Fun fact, I
HE100s
believe
exist.
this is actually the first
So
native Dutch
you're gonna have to
vehicle
outplay
that
them
we
pretty
use.
hard,
Yeah.
because
Of
you're
course,
never
this
gonna
one
have
was
the
used
energy
mostly by the
advantage.
Finnish Air Force, and it's in the
I
Swedish
think it's
tech tree.
possible
We
to
don't
do
have
if
the
it's
Dutch
maneuverable
tech
enough.
tree in the game. But there you
Also,
go.
if
I-
you look behind yourself, you can look right through.
Sweden
the
is a really
airframes
fun
quite
aviation
nicely.
tree, by the
That's
way,
actually going to be
if
quite
you
nice
haven't
for
played
simulator
it.
mode. It's
Yeah.
got to
There's
be
a lot of
There's
very
some
similar
good detail in
vehicles,
there.
but I'll give it a go.
Nice
surprisingly
little-
so for something that doesn't have a bubble canopy, actually.
It will be a
Yeah,
starter pack
very-
vehicle?
very
Oh,
nice.
okay.
Okay,
Very nice.
so all the Dutch shall rejoice.
Quite so.
Let's switch over to something a little bit more modern, and also something that is a new game mechanic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the SU-17 M2.
M2.
This has variable geometry wings, swing wings as they are also known, and is the first aircrafts introduced into War Thunder with this mechanic. Now, on this particular aircraft, they are not automatic. You
Did
have
they
to use
test
them
the big
manually. There are some
AGM,
keybinds
or
that
did
will
they
guide
just
us,
go
that
for
you will
the
have to
smaller ones?
find yourself
Because that big
to be
AGM
able
looks
to enable
scary
this
as all
feature.
hell.
I'm going to show this off on the ground real quick. As you can see, we can
Ooh!
move the wings about. Now, the reason why you would want to do this is quite simple. Imagine you are a designer in 60s, 70s. You want a plane that can go fast, but you also want a plane that can have some low-speed maneuverability and they can land at
I don't think we've seen any other swing wings, have we
overly
yet?
high speeds.
Yes.
What do you do? Well, how about you create a plane that has wings that can extend or retract themselves? So you can have the fully extended wings, so have a higher wing area to allow you to be a bit more maneuverable at lower speeds, as well as being able to...
It's such a
take off more
wonky
effectively
plane,
at
but it
lower
looks
speeds.
really cool.
And if you want to go fast,
Like it
all
looks
you have
like
to do
somebody's
is
put
you have to
together
activate this-
a
the
ton of
speed
different
button.
planes into
Speed
one.
button, yes.
the speed button, you retract the wings, it will reduce your wing area, it will reduce your drag, it will make you much more streamlined, and all of a sudden you can go much faster. Now, one thing I have to note, right now what you're seeing on the screen, this is all still very early work in progress, and right now the swing wings do not have an effect on the actual flight mode, so I can't show you that. But they will for the release. This is all stuff that is still being worked on. In fact, there's so many vehicles that are still being worked on that we aren't even going to be able to show in this
Yeah,
stream.
there's some really cool stuff that like.
It's kind of
everyone
weird.
is
Like I don't know if
really
it's the
available
camera
soon, so I'm very
bumping
excited
or
about
if it's something else
This one
bumping.
has two 30mm cannons, not
It's a
that
little
much
bit
ammo,
weird that
really
they're
only
slightly
160
off-center
rounds.
here.
They have a decent amount of penetration, but
Like Oxy is like a little bit further to the right than Mike is
With
left.
the swing wings. This is still a
There's probably
top-tier
a
jet, which is
reason
quite
for that.
heavy.
Like it's probably a
Especially in
setup
this
thing.
case, this is classified as an attacker, so it is
The
going to
question
be
for
a
me
bit
when it
sluggish
comes to
in
these
general.
swing wings
You
is
have
will there
two
ever be
manually
a
aimed
scenario
mouse
where I
aimed
won't
AG
want
jams.
like one of the
I
one
believe
of
there are
the,
more coming, but they're not quite ready yet. These are
the
bloody
setups.
AH-23s.
Yes, we got
And
two
that'll only
types,
come with
coming
time.
hopefully in the future.
Hopefully so. So
Or will it
stay
be
tuned
like
for
kind
the
of a
dev
gimmick?
server and for
I think there
release as
definitely
well
will be
to
though.
see all the new stuff.
Just gonna have to
So
give it a
this is
go.
the SU-17. I don't have a cockpit to show you, but Tom has something interesting to show
Oh, I
you.
do, yes.
Hmm.
It's the camo. It does it for me. I love it. So yes, Italy is getting 3 new German vehicles for their ground tree.
Oh boy!
Being the Panzer IV-G.
The Germans have
mainline
invaded.
V3N,
I love
which is a
it.
premium in the
There you
German tree,
go.
and the Stug 3G as well. Functionally, they are essentially identical, but they do have some slight differences.
premium
The
Panzer
Italian ones
IV?
don't get
Alright.
The side skirts
So
here,
now Italy has
or the
America
skirts
and
that,
Italy in its
left
ass.
or the Ostketten
Fair
for
enough.
the tracks. So they don't quite have the extra level of mobility. The Stug does get the smoke grenades as well, which I believe the German version doesn't. But apart from that, they are essentially the same. But it's a nice thing to add, especially for the lower tiers. It adds some more versatility.
The
to
Stug
play
3G
styles,
is a very
buffs the
fun
lineups out a
vehicle to
little bit,
play.
and that's really nice.
I will
Like,
say that.
I
I'm
mean,
glad
I know
to
it's
see.
just the camo. I'm so simple. It's just look at it. Look at that. I'm a big fan.
Can I
of that.
just mention that somehow the Stug looks even more awesome dressed up as a pizza?
It kind of. I mean, yeah. Okay, yeah. Pizza. Yeah.
I just love it.
I know every time. But yes.
And especially on the
The
Panzer
Italian
IV,
camos
Panzer
are
IV,
really,
I
really nice.
really like
I will
Panzer
say
IVs.
that.
Yes,
It
you
makes me
do.
sad it's not the H variant with the side skirts, which would look absolutely amazing in that camo. But it looks so nice.
It does. It really does.
This is the one with the
There are
actual
little
turret
differences to
traverse,
tell them
right?
apart, you
Yeah.
don't need to.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Obviously, the Panzer IV
What is that,
German
Edna?
does not have these.
It looks like a cruiser or destroyer. Still
They
no
are
battleship
skirts, they're just not
for
side skirts,
for
they're
Italy.
Turret skirts, I suppose.
F for the Allegly area or whatever it's called.
So yeah, this is the little difference here. The N, of course, doesn't have the side skirts, and the Stug doesn't have them either. So you can.
Yeah, the Italians
didn't
didn't use side skirts.
Need to.
Well, they
And
didn't.
overall,
Sorry,
it's
they
some
didn't
pretty
believe
nice
in
thing
them.
to add.
At least
I'm
when
happy
they were
about this.
It flashes out
testing
the
them
lower
and
tier
using them.
Italian tech tree, especially the Stug 4, the Stug 3G, which is really quite nice. That thing is a really, really good vehicle.
Don't
Very good
think
Now, let's
Panzer
switch
IV
over
needs to be a
another aircraft we
premium.
actually
I
forgot
think
to show
there's
again.
enough
Ladies and
Italian
gentlemen, I have
premiums in
something
there.
very special to introduce to you.
Wonder how much it'll
Did
be.
I hear Highway to the Danger Zone?
I don't
And
know.
we're just showing off sweat wings, so it's only natural that we show off the fabled MiG-28. Except not really.
Look at him. He's such a prankster, isn't he? Look
I
at
have a
him.
feeling half of these guys are not going to get a reference because the movie is quite old. It's older than me.
Top
But-
Gun, baby!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the F5A in the game. In the
If you
Chinese
haven't
territory
ever seen the
as
camo
Taiwanese
that
variant.
they
Now,
dress
I
these
know,
things
I
up
know,
on
I
in
know,
Top
there's going to be
Gun,
some chat
highly
about
recommend
why
it. It
is
looks
the
pretty cool.
The F5
I hope it
not
makes
in
it to the
American
game,
territory?
actually.
Quite simple. This specific variant, the F5A, was purely an export variant. I believe the Americans did some testing with it, but they didn't really use it. So it doesn't
yeah.
really fit in the American tech tree. This does not mean that the F5 will not come to the American tech tree eventually. Not this patch, but maybe in the future. Maybe in the
Yeah,
future.
the F5 was one of
Now,
those planes
this
that
is a
was used by like the
surprisingly
majority of the world.
small little
So
jet.
we
It
might
is
see a ton of
tiny,
variants of it.
tiny.
Yeah.
Only
This
2
has
AIM-9Ps
a interesting
though.
armament,
I
as you
don't
can see
know.
over here. You have access to
No
AIM-9Ps,
flares either.
a pair of them.
A
Sadly not
10-7.
4, but workable. What you do have 4 of
gonna
is
be rough.
AGM-12 ball pops. So this is going to be a very good CAS option for high-tier Chinese ground forces, for example. It's going to be quite nice for that. You also have a varied loadout of bombs. I personally like this one as well. This one quite,
750s?
quite a lot.
That's
You
not
can
bad.
use bombs with your air-to-air missiles. You can use rockets. You can use all kinds of.
I mean, the main thing is the
bullpups
bullpups and the sidewinders, right? Especially for ground.
Two 20mm cannon.
Pity
Pity
China doesn't have a 10-7 ground vehicle
anymore.
anymore.
Amount of penetration actually. 53
Rip the
millimeters is
ZTZ.
not bad at all. You can do some strafing with that, especially against lighter skinned vehicles. It's quite nice for that. I'm going to
those 20s are actually pretty good top down.
Just to show you guys the mobility in general. And Tom's already preparing something as well. I'm just going to fly it without anything just to show you a bit of the mobility. Of course, stuff is not final. Flight modes are not final. What you see here is not representative of what will eventually come to the final game. Stuff is still being worked on. But I can show you something very interesting with
It's
this
absolutely
so,
tiny, by the way.
This
thing.
is a tiny little attacker slash fighter slash plane slash beauty, really.
Yes.
It's also quite light.
Also, yes.
Comparatively, given its size.
I'm just worried
such,
about
it
its
has a
defensive
surprisingly
capabilities,
good
because
nose
its
authority.
defense is pretty
Really
much,
good authority. That's
I'm
probably
small.
my favorite thing about it, to be honest.
And as somebody who's like been playing the
Since you also
T2
have a
recently,
fully modeled cockpit, which
you
is
know,
quite
that
nice.
doesn't really
Indicators are
matter
all in
when
English,
certain
not in,
missiles are
Chinese,
launched at
because
you.
That would be very hard to read in simulator mode.
God bless.
As access to a drag shoot and all the good stuff. Oh, I forgot to show something, by the way, for the A70
Oh.
virtual HUD.
You did? Yes.
We'll go back to that towards the end of the stream as well.
We will.
Okay, we got a little bit of speed, and look at this.
Oh
This thing just
god.
flicks around.
Is this
Very good
FM
runner
completed?
authority, very good aileron authority. It just flicks where you point it, essentially. It's very good for getting those snapshots in. You do have quite a good pull. Not the most amazing, of course. This is still a jet. It's not going to be beating a biplane in a turn.
That kind of
right?
worries me.
But you can pull quite a
Something
bit
tells me
geez.
I'm going to be snapping wings on this thing.
I know many people who are going to be quite excited about this one. The F5 is iconic, especially the older audience who has seen movies like Top Gun. This is quite a nice one. And I'm honestly going to be surprised if we don't see a custom MiG-28 skin.
It just looks like a model kit plane. Like it, it doesn't look like what you think about when you think about like an American fighter. Hey, there you go.
BT-7M and the T-28
The little boy.
1938 as well. So BT-7M effectively uses a different engine with a higher horsepower. So it's a bit faster to accelerate and maneuver. It doesn't have a high
I'm happy to see
it
these
does
two.
mean that it can pull faster.
Now what we
it
need
can
is the
maneuver faster,
BT-42.
and it's going to be pretty decent in that respect as well. But everything else is pretty much the same. The T-28, the difference here is that it uses the howitzer gun, so not the longer 76 that the other T-28 uses. This uses the same cannon the T-35 and T-26-4 use.
Please
So
don't
it's
tell
not
me
the
I
best
have
in
to use
terms
a
of
shrapnel
penetration,
round.
but it
Oh
does
Lord,
fast
thank
reload,
you.
4 seconds aced.
Oh,
And with the full sensitivity on this round,
Thank
especially
God.
the APHE,
even
it
though it doesn't
can
pen anything,
be
at least it's
pretty
not a
good at
shrapnel
getting through
round.
angles, especially at the lower tiers. So it's going to be a nice thing to have.
Lord in
to
heaven.
Kind of buff out the lower ranks there as well. And I think my theory really is that why these two vehicles are here is they may show up in enlisted at some point. What do you think?
Who knows? Perhaps.
That's my idea.
Yeah, they
Maybe
will.
some
They'd be
other
pretty
data
good in
mines
that.
as well.
Yeah.
They would
I
be
think
quite
so.
good. I mean, 76
There's
million
enlisted
pounds,
data mines?
Pretty
Shit.
good with the HE, that's
I
for
think
sure.
so.
I saw Freeman
I
found
like
some
that. Yeah,
tanks
I
in
like
the game
these sort
itself
of lower
that
tier
kind of
things,
weren't
especially
supposed to
this
be
kind of
there.
interior
Like
as
they
well.
got hidden pretty
Really cool
quickly.
stuff.
Honestly, the thing I'm excited
Maybe
about
this
the
was
most
one of
is
them.
a huge, massive land ship at 1.3. You're going to be scaring some new players who have never seen something this
It's
big
kind of
on the
intimidating. I
battlefield.
Look
guess.
at that
Yeah,
back
1.3
as
is
well.
pretty intimidating. Pretty good.
It's like an extra
I
little
like it.
piece on it.
So you mentioned
This
that
thing will be a little bit of
BT-7M
fun to
was a bit
spade.
faster. Can you quickly go over the horsepower figures?
Oh, I can. I will switch to realistic.
Realistic
Here.
mode?
It is realistic. Just so we can get the reference for 500 horsepower here, and I believe the regular BT is 400.
The regular BT is 400. It is a bit lighter, however. The
Mhm.
BT-7M is a bit heavier, but I've done the maths. What's the
Yeah.
I mean,
regular
you know for a
BT-7M has
fact now this is
horsepower,
going to be
power-to-weight
the
ratio
top tier
of
players'
just under
vehicle of
30 horsepower
choice
per ton,
to
which is MBT levels, really.
wander around and
This
try
thing,
and get
the
God
BT-7M
mode.
has 35 horsepower per ton.
Is this
And
going to
to
be
prove
folded
this,
with
and to show you
the
something else
standard
as well,
BT-7?
We're going to quickly jump into another custom battle on
I
our
mean, it doesn't really
map
matter
that
because
is
it's
coming as
going to
well
be
and
like,
is updating
what,
the ground
like
map.
1200,
And we're going to do a little
2400
drag race
RP,
between
so
the BT-7
it's not a big
old one
change.
and the new BT-7M.
I like the
I'm going
chains.
to quickly send you an invite.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wonder
we
if
are
all of
going to
these new
start a
vehicles
game.
have the
Let's
new
jump.
tracks
Once
already
we
modeled
meet,
on them
we're
as
going
well.
to,
Like the hot
also
tracks.
show you a bit of the map. Yeah.
Be interesting
See
to
the
think
sides, you
about.
know, all the good stuff
Quite
on
so.
the new
Svisk.
map for ground forces. Yeah, we're trying to do a bit more attention to the lower tiers.
Yeah, when the dev server comes
you know,
up, we'll
people
have a look
like
around
that
this
quite a
map.
bit.
Like we'll get
Tom, I
like
suggest
Alex
use one
Bryce
on
and
the western
maybe a few
side,
others
I
just
spawn
have a
on the
look.
eastern side. We can switch the views around a little bit. And
My
this way
brain
we can
frantically trying to work out which way east and west are.
the top right one for you.
Oh,
Top
sorry.
left one, sorry.
There we go, see? That's the counter-transference. Let's go.
The SU-11?
Let's just say directions are hard.
What
Yes.
the hell's the
You can see the
SU-11?
general map
Is
layout
that
over
that
here, by the way.
Soviet
You got the
ME-262
city area over
knockoff?
here. You got a hilly area over here. It gives you a nice contrast. You have a long straight.
Oh, and this
road
boy's got an
right
SU-9,
down the middle, which is what
alright.
we're going to be using for
So one's
the
premium,
drag
one's
race in a
not.
bit.
Let's have a look.
But first, we are over here now. I am going to drive through the city to show you a little bit of that area, and Tom is going to.
This
drive
is a
through
personal
the,
thing. I prefer fades
hilly area
to
over
like
there, which
switches,
He's struggling a bit to get up the hills over there.
just
There you
because
go.
they
Which is a bit more
a little bit
wide
less
open.
vicious.
So just to really show you the contrast between the two halves of this map.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about it. There's long sight lines to the left and quite narrow sight lines to the right. So, you know, if you want to play a vehicle that's a bit more of a sniper, there's a part of the map for that.
I'm
And if
happy
you're
that
on
they
a
have
vehicle
roads
that's more
everywhere
suited to
here,
brawling or
so
kind of
mobility
flanking
is going to
using
be
the short
quite
sight lines,
high.
you can go into the city, which is really good. And there's not really a lot of maps that kind of make that contrast. So I'm kind of excited to see how this one's going to play. And it looks really nice visually, too. I'm a
One
big
thing I
fan of
really
that.
like about the hilly area, actually, so
Looks
it's
very
not completely
depressing.
flat. You have hills
Yeah, there's
and
defilades and stuff.
valleys to hide behind.
Yeah.
You have a playground over here, which kind of reminds me of that one nuclear mission.
Do it.
Oh god.
Say the line, Mike.
No, I will
Say
not.
the line.
I will not. You have a plaza over there, which I'm also going to show.
Yeah,
the city
there's
is a bit
the knockoff
dilapidated. It
262.
reminds me a little bit of the April Fool's
that's fine.
Future City map
That's pretty cool.
that we had a
yeah.
few years ago. Just maybe a little bit less dilapidated, a little bit less post-apocalyptic. You have the square area over here, which is quite nice. I'm just going to see if those signs are destructible.
I believe they are.
They are indeed. So there you go. If you're not a fan of all the signs, you can actually take them down as well.
Yes.
Yeah, statue's
Meanwhile, Tom
nice.
is over here. You're still going down the main road, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm actually going to
Seeing sights.
respawn and actually I'm going to show
So if you really feel like
I'm going
it, you
to
could just
respawn and
beeline
join
to
over
the
there
enemy
as well.
spawn and
Looks good
hope
to
that
me.
nobody's watching the road.
I actually want to see. Hold on, what's the area? Let's check out the middle area as well. Now there are going to be.
I mean,
quite a few
this
sidelines
map
to
is
keep an
quite
eye on here,
complicated,
as well as these
like just
fences,
looking
which
at
are
the
going to
general
be the
layout.
tanks
So
with
it's going
DFS,
to take a while to like
because
work
those
out
will
what
be
to do
blocked
or
by
where
the
to go.
fencing, although you can shoot them down with your MGs for the most part.
Like,
Interesting
this
cowboys.
map at top tier is
that's a
going to be
funky looking one.
crazy,
They're really cool,
but at
right?
mid tiers, I
Yeah.
mean,
So sweet.
low tiers
I wanna
will
race
probably
that
be
now.
pretty fun. God damn, that
Hmm.
bloody bus thing is ugly.
Check out the middle area as well. Tom over there still riding through.
I'm having a whale of a time.
yeah,
I'm a
you're
little
just,
explore.
you're just enjoying the wide open road.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
I'm quite simple. So, you know, all of this is happy to me. Nice and plains. Let's go.
And there we go. We are now in.
We're gonna
the
have to
middle
see
area.
what
Now, there are, of
that
course,
like
different game modes for
village
this. You
looks
have
like
casual
on the
battle,
left hand
you have
side,
recap game
just
modes,
behind
you have
Oxy's
one-cap
head,
game modes, all that
because
good
that
stuff.
could be
The
a
map is about
worrying
the size you can see
position.
on the minimap. It doesn't get bigger than that, really. It's not the biggest of
Depending
maps.
on
It's
how
not
it's
the
set
smallest
up.
Maps. It's about the medium size, I would say, with a nice balance between urbanization and wide open fields. I'm going to quickly join Tom over on that
I'm
side.
guessing
We're going
this
to
is
do
a-
little drag race. To
So
show
this
off
is
the
like a
difference between
deserted
the
town?
BT7 old and the new BT7M.
I don't know. Well, there's cars
Now,
there
I
and stuff, so I'm
believe
guessing not.
We still have the same top speeds and
Yes.
reverse speeds, right?
We do, yep. Those stats are unchanged. It's just the acceleration and general mobility is much better for the M model.
Oh no, there's a
Very
hill
good.
there. Yep.
So you do still have. Can you quickly show the
That
reverse speeds? Just,
that town on the
Give
left
it a
might
go.
be an issue. Just looking at
Yeah,
where
10
they are
kilometers
on the
per hour.
map.
I mean, it's not the best. Definitely not for something that speedy as this, but.
You see
it
that?
works.
Like straight ahead of where Mike's
Jump
looking
on
right
the
now,
horizon,
straight to
here
the
you go.
left.
Oh no. Who is that?
That's
Who
a
is he?
worry.
You dare approach me?
I'm sort of approaching, I suppose, quite slowly, but
Get as close as you'd like then.
oh no.
I mean, yeah, you're getting.
Maybe.
You're being quite slow. It's fine. Okay, if you join up, if you stop there, I will
Okay,
make a finish line with you. There we go.
yes.
And Tom, I will do you the honor of doing the countdown.
Okay, what should we go on? Go
Should
or
just
one?
have
You
better
choose.
acceleration, right?
on
go.
Well, that should be
Okay.
about it.
Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Starting at the same time.
This is like playing
Yeah.
Hot Wheels with your friends when you're like 5. I
It
love
kind of
this.
is.
This is great.
Now keep in mind, we are both
That
fully
extra
upgraded.
chain
We are
isn't
both,
isn't,
have the same, crew stats
weighing
as
him
well.
down.
Yeah, I mean, of course, now is the awkward moment when we both have the exact same top speed. So this is about the same distance we stay.
We are just sort of stuck like this now, yeah. Yeah, overall the acceleration and general mobility is much better for the M, so it's a nice little thing to have, and I'm a big fan.
The question is, should that mean it gets an increased BR though?
I love this
Is
race.
that a big enough change
nice
for
road.
it to get a different
I need a
BR?
race map on this.
Yes.
It's going to be nice.
And of all the roads I've seen, it's definitely one of them, so can't argue with that.
Alright, let's move on to the next vehicle.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Now,
have
I
a look
see some
around that
people
map.
in the chat asking for Japanese stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what
Japanese?
we deliver?
We could certainly...
We could certainly deliver some Japanese stuff for you guys. So,
Is
Tom is
the
going to be taking out a
are
look
the
at
webcams
new
mounted on the
low-tier
monitors, or are they
tank
mounted on
destroyer
something
coming to
behind,
Japan.
like the
Another low-tier
table?
boy. This is the Hero Shah, which is on the chassis of the...
I wonder if
Rogo,
that's
which
what's
is
making
the
it
premium
bounce.
Here at 1.3. This one kind of strips the main sort of turrets off and replaces it with this 120mm gun.
Oh,
Not
I
quite as
love
powerful as the gun
19th century
found on the
artillery
Shiha
cannons.
long gun.
Oh,
It's a little bit weaker. We take a look at the ammunition here. We have the HE round and the SAP round. SAP is really, really powerful tanks.
Look
And,
at that filler.
Yeah, that's some intense filler right there. So overall, for a low vehicle, it's a nice thing to see. It's unique. It's got a unique gun. It's not really going to be, I think, super powerful because, as we can see, the crew members
retains
are
the
quite
machine gun on the
exposed.
back.
It's not facing directly from the front. It can be MG'd out. So not super powerful there from that respect.
imagine
But
being that
as a
dude.
vehicle, it's really nice to see. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. It's just, it's fun. It's unique. It's that kind of area of the game.
It is an
that's really
interesting
cool.
vehicle, I'll give it
And
that.
I don't know. I really like it. So
I prefer
I'm excited
like
to play this
interesting
one.
vehicles
It's probably not
SPG
gonna
wise,
be
like the Chiha
amazingly
LG,
powerful, but it's one of those
instead of
vehicles
like
that kind of
the
updates
Hero
its
Shada,
versatility with
just
the
because
lineup
the
as
Chiha
well.
LG
And
has a
it's
little
just
bit more use.
Pretty cool. I'm a fan.
But it
Honestly,
looks
my
cool.
stance is
I'll
just
give it
that
that.
there can never be enough derp guns.
Yes.
It's
kind
beautiful.
It's kind of nifty for that. You can see all the ammunition in the side there, which is also cool.
It's not
It's
going to
the
be a very
engine
survivable
power.
tank.
Oh,
That's
this
for
is
sure.
arcade.
Probably not, but it's a nice addition nonetheless. And I mean, for the lower tiers, it's going to be fun.
12
I'm excited to see
12
how this
millimeter
one's gonna
turret
finish.
armor, so that plate isn't crazy.
Alright, let's
Okay,
move over
yeah, that'll
to
be a little
the
bit of
next
fun.
vehicle. We have shown it a little bit before in that A7D.
I'm glad we're
test,
getting a
but
lot of lower ranked
let's
vehicles.
Welcome to the game. I believe, is this the first native Austrian vehicle? I believe it is.
Why are
We
you
have
in the
SK,
German tree?
The plane.
Yes, the
But that's-
demonstrator.
Yes, but this is a Swedish plane, technically,
Yeah,
which is
technically.
used by Austria.
Hmm.
This is a native Austrian design, the Jagdpanzer Kürassier A2. There you go, just to get, you know...
The turret is
dreading,
based
like,
on
I
a
thought I
French
was gonna put
design.
this, I was
The gun is
dreading
also
doing
based on a
that, but
French
I'm so glad you
design.
nailed it.
And the
So-
people
I
who
mean,
made
you
the
can
chassis
attempt to-
are
definitely
from
won't do that.
Switzerland.
Yes. This is a new
Why
tank
is this in the
coming
German
to,
tree?
Germany, 9.3, a light tank, and
4-second
honestly, this
reload,
thing is
though.
quite
That's quite
powerful.
nice.
Firstly, the camo looks amazing. This is not quite the base camo. You can see it over here. Base, it looks like this, just greenish. Meh.
I mean, it would be
But
a
this
fun
one is
vehicle,
really quite nice, and I
but
really
I'd
like the
rather
way
it
this
be in
looks.
the French tree.
This has a 105mm stabilized auto-loading gun
Oh,
in an
Jesus.
oscillating turret. That's quite a mouthful. With a laser
So it-
rangefinder and with...
So it
pretty good
doesn't
thermal
have
as
any
well.
of the weaknesses
Let me
of
show you
having an
the
oscillating turret.
modifications. Again, once again, keep in mind, work
I
in
love it.
progress. Stuff might change here.
Oh,
You
it
have the
gets.
laser rangefinder
Oh, it
as
gets
a
that
key to
round
upgrade, which
too.
is quite
Oh,
good for
okay.
those long-range snipes.
Oh,
especially since you have
thermals.
access to
All right.
APFSDS at the top of your ammunition choice. Base heat FS.
Well, that's
going to
be fun to play.
APFSDS with
I'm gonna
361.
enjoy this one a
That's
lot.
going to be quite good.
Yeah, the entry-level sort of French loadout there for that gun.
And you also have yourself access to the thermal. So I'm going to quickly show you
It is
this
rank
in a
3
test drive to show you the general
APFSDS though,
mobility.
which is a bit of a
Of
pain.
course, armor isn't really much to talk about. 50mm maximum. This is not a tank.
Because
you
of the
want
hull
to
break
take
changes
shots
and
at.
stuff
This
though,
tank you want to stick your hand in and use that
you won't be able to hull break this
4-second
thing
autoloader,
really.
by the way.
So it'll be
What?
fine.
It's going to be a fast-firing gun, that's for sure. I do want this in realistic mode, though. You can see as well. The gun depression isn't the best, to be honest. For a Western tank, it's a bit lacking.
Yeah, not quite up to the sort of regular standard on that front. But
It
I
was a
mean,
pretty low
for all
profile,
its
so I
advantages,
think
it's
it'll be
got a lot
fine.
going for it.
Like gun
you get that
depression
thing in a
wise.
good spot, and Christ, it's going to work.
Does it? It doesn't get heat FS, does it? It just gets heat.
Yes.
The ground forces.
Yes. So we have new
God.
impact effects for tank shells, which we can show, as well as for.
I didn't
new
realize the
aircraft,
back
and
of
we
it was
also
so
have new
big.
aircraft gun
That
force.
looks really weird.
Alright, so, firstly, mobility. The top speed backwards is
Oh, that's
only
weird
8
how it
miles per hour,
rocks.
which is not great for a light vehicle, I have to say. Forwards, we aren't going to be reaching the top speed on.
My boy, the
We can
VFM5, is
kind
sat
of the
there
acceleration. This is in realistic mode, by the way,
crying.
just so you know. But look at
Just
this.
crying in the
Completely
corner.
Stabilized gun, very good thermals,
Oh, that's Gen 2.
and absolutely no issues with the APF SDS. It is quite good, I have to say.
Does it have commander thermals?
Now, I'm going to try out the HE effects. There should be some new explosion effects when you hit stuff.
That's so cool, dude.
That looks
Dude,
pretty
it looks
nice.
like a mini nuke.
It did.
Oh. Okay. Underground, you can see it as well.
Yeah, that
It's
looks
actually
awesome.
Very, very nice.
That's a
Sparks
really,
improve
really
as
nice
well.
effect.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Sort of more like, I don't know, hotter from the looks of it. I like that.
Let's see what the heat does.
Or that.
Well, I mean, exploding the tank generally tends to mask your ability to show off the, you know, effects, but let's shoot the ground.
Hey, you know what doesn't poop out shells still?
Get a ricochet
The
and stuff,
MX-13
get a lot of
hot.
sparks going.
Actually, that's a good point. Let's see if I can... I mean, it's going to be a bit hard getting a ricochet.
Or at least it didn't
with
last time I
the
checked it.
heat.
It did go down in
Try.
BR though, so you
I'm
know.
going to get a bit closer here. It's a very fast
Small-
reloading gun,
small
so I can show you the
victories.
X-ray as well. You don't have too many rounds available in the autoloader. I'll actually have to check again in the hangar how many you exactly have as your first stage.
Yeah, that's quite
It's
small
12, I
actually.
think most of the AMX-13 kind of esque.
Oh wait,
as well.
no, never mind.
So
It's
it
best
should
if
be
we check
similar.
in the hangar in a bit just to
Yeah.
make sure. So you do have a decent selection, but you can't keep firing forever. After your ready rack is depleted, it's going to take quite a while to replenish each shell, and it's going to massively reduce your
I'm just
fire rate
surprised
as
how
well.
long this thing is.
Okay, let's do a quick deflection shot over here. Oh, you actually saw the thing going
Yeah,
past.
kind of zoomed away.
I'm seeing the shell.
That's kind of cool. Zooming, dude.
Absolute zooming. Let's try with an APF SDS shell.
And there's a sort of new groove there as well, with like the long kind of.
It does look nice.
Glancing indent there.
Oh
as well.
yeah.
There's more kind of a variance in the effects, from what I understand.
Their effects that
choose
they've
a
added
armor
in
that's
the
very,
last
very angled that will create a deeper groove as well.
last like half a year have been incredibly
sparks
nice.
going off that.
They've improved the game experience a lot.
Welcome to War Fun though, and now with 200% more Michael Bay effects.
Yes. Comedy.
Going to quickly go back to the hangar just to show you the first stage.
I want to
rack.
put Oxy and Richard Ayawadi in a
1500
room
kilometers per hour top speed.
and
It's actually a
see
surprisingly light vehicle,
who
but the
can
engine's kind of
out
weak.
like awkward comedy the other.
And you have a massive ammo rack over here, which you probably should not fill.
Oh,
Just
God.
pro tip.
Pro tip.
Where can I see it? Over here. 12 rounds, yeah. 12 rounds.
12
The pression's
rounds.
kind of bad. Turret traverse is decent. It's a vehicle you want to be not seen in. It's definitely a flanker. That's for sure.
Quite so.
And that is the Cuirassier. Moving on to the other thing you see over here, which has been getting people talking. There's a new Leopard 2, but this one is a little bit different. This is the Leopard 2 PL. This is a Polish variant modification of the 2A4, I believe.
This is a
with some additional
vehicle
armor and
where
some,
level
better
5s
thermal
are able
optics.
to get into top
And
tier
this is going to be a
in
squadron
one simple
hotkeeper.
trick.
So, you do not need to really own any of the other German top tier
You
tanks
could
to
you could be
get
able to get this vehicle in
All
2
you need to do
days
is, like any of the other
if you
squadron
grind out
vehicles, is
the
to be
free
a
XP
squadron.
or free
Gain
RT.
squadron research points, unlock yourself this tank,
Oh.
and you can roll around in your very own German Leopard 2. Polish Leopard 2, I should say.
You got there.
Once again, work in progress, so keep in mind this
Thermals,
might all change.
DM23.
Currently, the top shell it has is DM23, which is, I believe the 2A4 is DM33.
I don't know if it does.
No, the 2A4 is 23.
It's not the best APF SDS shell, that's for sure. It's not top tier levels. Although you have a very good thermal imager, as well as a laser rangefinder. I'm actually just going to quickly show you the thermal imager. Whilst we're at it,
Uh-oh.
just so you guys can check it out. And there we are. Actually, maybe not that good. Right
Looks
now.
like Gen 1
Does
to
it
me.
have Commander? I haven't actually tested this one.
It doesn't have Commander Friendly, it has Commander IR. Again, things are working.
Yeah, that's just Gen 1 thermals, so
features and stuff are still being.
It has the
worked
same package
on.
as
Okay,
the
next up
2A4
we
right now.
have,
Okay, fair
Tom,
enough.
you have something interesting to show.
It's an extra vehicle to
I have
add.
a brief
And an
overview
extra
of the
squadron
M3
vehicle too,
A3
so
Bradley.
I'm happy with that.
Upgraded version. And
the chonk.
pretty good. Especially regarding thermals.
By the
which I'm a
way,
big fan of. I'll take
My
it to test
boy,
drive.
the CM25, right
So,
now, understand
at
this
the moment,
is,
it doesn't
work
have,
in progress.
any of the
My boy, the
upgraded weapon options
CM25
that,
is
like,
the
you
same
will
BR
have
as
when it,
this.
comes out in the game. So we have Commander thermals.
Where
here.
is the justice in
Pretty
this
decent
world?
in terms of quality and gunner thermals as well. So
It's got commander
when this
thermals.
thing will release currently on this
Oh,
test
brother.
server, it only has the regular tow missiles. It will have the tow 2Bs, which I believe are the versions that will do the top-down.
I believe they're just top-down
effects, yeah.
side ones, yeah.
So there'll be a lot of ability there to really hassle some enemies. I love those missiles; they're really great. So those are the missiles that when you point at an enemy effectively, the missile will fire just above them, and when it's directly above, it will explode downwards and basically ignore all the frontal armor. So pretty powerful there. And it will also...
Yeah, I enjoy using the Bill missile, but sometimes it feels like it's a little bit RNG how much damage it gets.
Yes, and that's pretty nifty. So
it's
right
got
now,
APFSDS.
these regular ones, but that will be upgraded when it comes out. And the armor as well.
Okay, the BR must be wrong then. There's no way.
It does have some armor improvements overall, so not to the point where it's really going to be tangible, but you will maybe survive some extra hits from autocannons like the German 20mm on the Leopard 2K and the...
yeah, this is going to be king of the IFVs.
If you're angled slightly, you can sort of survive.
It's going to take the crown from the
but overall,
Type 89.
It also does have a more powerful engine, but because it is heavier,
or the
it's
STRFs.
not really that much more mobile, but it is a bit better. So in terms of actually maneuvering from static positions, it's going to be a little bit faster there as well. So a nice addition, I think, really cool thing to have. And it's going to have some more adaptability in the higher tiers as well, even though it is currently 8.3.
I was kind of surprised they went from just the standard M3 Bradley straight to the M3A3.
Honestly, the TOTO-B is the only thing I can
there's a
see
bunch of
them
variants they
struggling
could
a
put in
little bit against
between.
is the Russian top-tier MBTs, because
Yeah,
they tend to have
ERA
ERA on the
roof,
top.
yeah, that's true.
Everything else doesn't really.
This is going to
so
be
those are
fun
gonna be
though.
quite
This will be a
effective,
fun
if you
mission.
can get them off without dying first.
It'll be
of course.
ridiculous at this BR.
Now,
If
Tom,
they
what's
put
actually
it in
prepared
at
the
this
next one? I'm
BR.
just going to quickly switch over to the A7D again, because I want to show you the Huds. The new HUD for the A7D, which I completely forgot to mention, by the way. I'm very sorry about that. So Huds is something that has been requested by the community for a while, and there you go. You have a new digital HUD, which is going to be very nice for the sim fans. Especially with this view as well. Oh god, this plane's going to be amazing for sim, I'm just thinking right now.
That's going to be really fun.
Can you launch
flares, you have
the
very good
Mavericks
airflow
on the
missiles,
ground?
You have ballistic computer, you have
Oh,
TV
can you target
view, you
planes
have digital
with
HUDs,
these
You
things?
even have the TV view in the cockpit itself as well.
That's really cool.
You can kind of control it from here.
Because it works on
And to that.
contrast, right?
Oh boy, this is nice.
So if the plane is
the current
contrasted
year.
enough to the
It really
sky,
is the current year, isn't it?
would you be able to like lock
Alright,
onto a
and
plane?
in the meantime, you have a new Chinese edition as well for the Grand Prix.
I do. We can take a brief look at the PTL-02, which is the proportions of this thing. I mean, in my brain, it looks like it just doesn't quite work in my brain.
It is a bit derpy.
It is a little derpy, but I like it. I like this kind of
Look
thing.
at that front gun
So this
depression.
is the
Oh,
new sort of
minus
stealthy
4.
light vehicle
Oh!
at 8.0 for the Chinese tree, and I believe it uses an analog of the gun present on the regular T or Type 69 in the tech tree. With the
It has the same
100mm gun,
rounds at
and it
least.
uses the same dart round as well.
That
and it's
APDSFS
not exactly
is the
best
worst
cut round
of its
for
kind in the
HFS,
game.
but as a vehicle, it adds a new playstyle to China that wasn't really present there before. They didn't have a vehicle like this, and now they do, which is really cool. And also, well, in terms of what this thing really is and can do, very, very quick on roads, not as much on rough terrain. Armor as well.
This is
nothing
dead on
sort of
arrival
really
at the BR
right home
that
about,
it's
as
at.
they say. But as a vehicle, it's a nice thing to have, and especially...
But it does
as a
have some
cannon
nice
as well, which
factors.
I'm a
You
big
know,
fan of,
smoke, the
as you
heat
know.
shell's nice.
Very boring.
Reload is
But, I don't know,
terrible.
it just all of the cannons on this thing look
Mobility
This
is
one
not
looks
going
very
to be good
saturated.
either.
This one.
nice. That's the one, yeah. We like this one.
It's so green!
It is very green. It reminds me of like I used to get these like army sets when I was younger,
Yeah.
like toys and stuff. They have this kind of the same scheme, you know, like all the jackets and that kind of thing. Like it's this, dude. I'm getting so many memories right now. This is great.
We need some green army men as the next April Fool's event.
Perhaps we do. Perhaps we do. So yes, new vehicle, pretty cool. I'm a fan.
Fleshing out the tech trees. Speaking out of fleshing out the tech trees, let me introduce to you the IKV-91.
Is there a radar
105,
guided
the
AA
new tech
fleshing out
coming
the
to
tech
the
tree
Swedish
for
tech tree.
China?
It's based on the IKV-91.
Or do we just get another
very
box?
well-liked vehicle already in the game. This one gets upgraded with a 105
You know,
millimeter cannon, and I love
it would be
this
lovely
camo.
to
Oh my
see.
god. So, once again,
This
work in
105
progress, keep
looks
in mind,
meaty,
things
by the
can
way.
change. It has scouting. It has a 105 millimeter cannon with a 4.6 second reload. It has... I'm
Yeah,
actually not
the
sure how to
standard
pronounce this in
IKV is
Swedish, but I
really
just call
nice,
this the
so
sniper
this
projectile.
one will be really good
That's
too.
those.
That's just my head cannon, essentially.
Mike's head cannon.
Decent APFSDS shell at 8.3. You don't have thermals, but you do have a laser rangefinder. And we're going to quickly take this out into a test drive to see how the handling and the gun performs.
Yeah, this will
Just a
be
quick
a
look
fun vehicle. I
Oh,
really
didn't
enjoyed
look at
the
camo,
first
damn
one.
it.
Sad.
So you do have the full stabilizer, you do have this weirdly placed oblique engine, which is really, by the way, this is not an arrow, this is how this thing looks. It's
Yeah.
weird. Sweden, why? First
Because
idea
they've never
that
fought
this-
a war.
And you have yourself a very nice APFSDS shell. This should be nice for fleshing out the Swedish tech tree a little bit, you know, giving them a little bit more firepower in a
The reload's nice
lightly
too.
armored but very mobile platform. with the laser rangefinder and with the APF-SES, it's going to be quite nice.
Very nice.
Now, I think we have been holding you guys out for quite long, haven't we?
Perhaps.
Lads, it is time. We are going to be presenting the actual star of this patch, the new Tech Tree line. It is not called a separate nation.
thought he was gonna.
Instead, it
You
is
should
a
have done the
line in
German
the
battleship.
British territory.
That it is.
Welcome to the game, South Africa. And we're going to start off with the
A
Lotus
new
stuff.
top
Yes.
tier.
Tom, take it away.
I have a couple
Meta-defining
of Lotus for the
ship.
South African branch of in Tech Tree. So I think a lot of people
Hey,
probably
the
weren't expecting
Harrington.
there to be some Lotus
Lovely.
stuff, but we do have these two, the Marring Harringtons, which I think I said that wrong. Anyway, these are two Lotus vehicles. This is in Tier 1.
The
and
Harringtons are really
Tier
cool.
2 version with the 6
There's
pounder,
that
so it's
57.
going to have the scouting abilities, and probably my favorite gun in the game. Perhaps I love the 57.
It's very good.
It's really good, and I mean these things in terms of proportion look a bit weird. I mean,
I
God
was about to
damn, they are
mention,
so
it looks
odd.
so dirty.
That
It looks like a
50
toy
cal
tank
as well.
squished
it
together.
does. I mean, this thing, you know,
Does this thing get
works out as a
scouting
library.
actually? I mean, it's
a
rank
very
2.
top
Hey, there's the
heavy looking
Whitby.
vehicle, but very, very nice. I love this kind of stuff. The unique loader. I mean, I keep saying that, but it's great. I know you're saying over like the perspective of the 50 cal here being actually huge.
I
So
got
this is
two.
actually
Oh,
quite
he's
a
in
small
arcade
vehicle.
again.
It is very small.
Very small, but it's going to add a little bit more versatility to the British tree, especially in the lower tiers. And now there is more scout vehicles apart from the Crusader Mark III, so you
Right,
can
so
use
it
that
does
in the
get
higher tiers
scouting.
as well.
That's
It's gonna
good.
be a little bit not
4
quite
second reload on
off-road,
the
but
on the
really
57
maneuverable
is
off-road.
really nice.
So it's going to be a nice addition.
Kind
to
of
the
sucks
lower
it's
tiers
open
for the
top
British
though,
line,
but
and
then again
something I'm
it
very
doesn't
happy
have
to
any
see.
armor. This thing can get machine
We're
gunned to
going to
death.
move on to the rest of the British line, in which I'm going to switch over to Reddit.
It is really
news,
nice to
because
see
you'd like
South
to take
Africa
screenshots.
starting rank
This is
1,
what
by the
we
way.
currently have. Again, work in progress. In fact, there's one specific point I need to touch on when it comes to this line. As you can see, it's just a separate line in the tech tree. You don't need to reach a certain level to research the South African tanks. You can start them right away. One thing to note is a question that I'm sure
The
is going to come up,
Eland.
which is the Roycat Mark 1D. This
Yeah.
will be moved into this line. So
Oh, okay.
if you are
Alright,
currently
good.
close to unlocking this vehicle, get it before the update drops, just so that you get yourself, already vehicle research without having to then wait to research all the previous stuff to get access to
okay.
buying that once again. Just keep this in mind. All right. Let's show off some of the stuff that we have here. Let's start off with the Ratel 20.
Oh, the camo.
I like the
The
camera a lot.
Ratel.
Actually, I'm going to show you, I suppose, throughout the vehicles. I'm going
Just
to show
get the
you all stuff
upgraded
with
Milan
camos.
or just the
Surprisingly, I
standard
actually get
one?
a winter camo.
I do. Curious.
Very curious. This is weird. I'm sorry.
It is just. It's
Why is it so big?
why he long.
Thick. It's
Why
just,
he long.
it's a box.
It box.
It reminds me of a mini version of that demand truck that we got for Germany.
I mean, kind of, yeah. It's pretty sweet.
What this essentially is, in essence, is take kind of a South African
How does
version
this
of
thing
a
have
BMP
minus 10 gun
turret.
depression?
It is a 20mm autogun and
Must be on the
HDM
side,
launcher,
right?
and
Yeah.
put it just
Oh,
on
in
a
that
massive
little
infantry
area on the
fighting
side.
transport truck, and that's how we get a new vehicle.
Pretty much. And functionally, at the moment, the 20mm cannon, it isn't stabilized at the moment, but it is.
Okay,
an
so it just
analog
gets the
of
standard Milan.
R3T20's 20mm gun. So exactly the
Pen's
same
not
fire rate,
great,
which
but
is like
this is a scout
996
first.
rounds per minute, I think. So hugely fast fire rate there on that gun. So as it's not stabilized, I guess it's not going to be super powerful in that respect. But I mean,
It's
from a
it's
stab
basically
position,
going to be an
it's
AA
pretty
gun
decent. And as well,
because you
something
have no
else
armor,
about this,
so
model,
you're going to get machine
or
gunned
this
to
kind
death.
of, type of
But
vehicle in
it's
general,
also
there's
gonna be a
lot of
barrel
negative space
destroyer,
in the middle
basically.
of the vehicle from the side. So, I mean, you can survive a lot of kinetic shots probably in that area, as there's nothing there at all. So they probably can go straight through. So maybe it's even a better idea to angle that thing to the side rather than from the front, because
We're
obviously
getting class
being the kind of
3
vehicle it is,
vibes
the armor
here,
is
just shooting straight
really,
through that damn thing, doing
not
nothing
really an
to
important
it.
part of the vehicle. So side on, I mean, people's brains generally, it's like shoot in the middle, and I think a lot of
It's the
people are
thing,
going to do that.
you look at this thing from the side, you think, oh hey, center mass, let's go for this.
Exactly, and it's not really going to do much.
I love that door on the
So
side.
interesting in that respect, I think.
Keep in mind, of course,
It's
this
really
thing
well
only
modeled.
has free
It's really
crew, so
nice.
any shot to the front is pretty much going to one-shot you. This is not a very survivable vehicle. Unless, of course, you present it from the side, in which case, yeah, this thing can probably survive some APF SDS.
Problem with these things is they're
Which is
really
not bad
tall
at
as
all.
well, so their silhouette's huge.
Mobility isn't the greatest, just saying.
And
High
there's a
mass,
small engine
low
there.
power. It's what you get. Moving on to a Roykart, another one with a 105mm cannon with a funky-looking turret and an even funkier-looking.
I wonder if they're going to model in
the
system on the
MTTD,
turret.
if I'm not mistaken, stands for Medium Turret Technical Demonstrator. I believe this was a prototype that wasn't actually adopted. But what you essentially have is
this is a
low-profile
prototype.
turret. The crew is a bit sunken lower, so they can expose your turret over hill, for example, without exposing too much of your crew, which aids in survivability. Other than that, it's still a
Instead, you
very similar
expose
tank
your
to
ammo
Rocket. You have
much
the
better.
105mm GT7 cannon, which is fully stabilized. You have DM23, you have night vision, you have laser rangefinder, and you have yourself a 6.7 second reloads.
Is there a 9.3
I
British
don't
lineup?
believe- Maybe it can get an auto load. I think it gets an auto load.
It is also
There's a
loaded.
very
Yeah.
strong
So
9.7
the fire
one,
rate is fixed,
but
you cannot
9.3 is a
improve
bit
it with
rough.
crew skills. At the same time, you also don't have a loader to lose to then halve your fire rate. So that's the one good thing. I can see some issues with trying to use this in defensive position just because you have a massive ammo rack here in the back of the turret, which is quite, well, exposed whenever you try to point your gun at something. But at the same time, if the ammo isn't hit directly, and because the crew is so sunken down into the hull, you have a decent chance of being able to at least survive a penetrating hit from the front if you play it nicely and use that 10-degree gun depression to not show too much of your tank behind a hull.
Does this have
Moving
commander
on
standoff?
to the next vehicle, we have the Oliphant
Kinda looks like it
Mark
does.
II. We
Oh
also have
boy.
the Oliphant Mark I. The Elephant started
It's
out
got a
with
hit me
modification of the
hit me
British
optic.
Centurion tank. In
Hey,
fact,
I'm
I
over
quickly show
here.
the Elephant Mark I, which looks pretty much just like a Centurion.
A3 though, that's pretty good BR.
It's a Centurion.
Oh no,
The
sorry, that's
Elephant
the Mark
II is
1A.
pretty much just added on armor on top of that. You have the 105mm GT8 cannon, 7.7 second reload stock, 10-degree gun depression, all good on that front. You can see some of the internals. Internally, it's
Oh
pretty
no,
much
that
just
ammo.
a Centurion. It's still very much based on that. Now, the South African variations
got like it's got Italian syndrome.
higher power engines, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So these are a bit more mobile than what you're used to from some of the British Centurions. And they should complement.
I'd
the
hope so.
tank
It's at
tree pretty well,
9.7.
especially this kind of battle rating where the Brits can use a bit of help.
I think so. And does the Mark II get DM60?
The Charlies are wonderful
I
machines.
believe it does
Oh, it
indeed.
They work really well. Oh
DM63,
boy.
105mm, which is really
Well, there
quite
you
powerful.
go.
Yeah, pretty good stuff.
Actually, let me quickly switch over to Reddit mode for the screenshots. There you go. 436mm flat, 252 at angles. This is a very good shell against heavily angled surfaces, which is going to be quite nice. Promises a T2 upgrade as well. All that good stuff. Moving on to one I am actually really excited about myself.
Hey, ZA35.
Okay. Take some great things in this game. Take the Roycat chassis.
Why is this one
and
at
the turret
8.3?
of a Gepard. Put them together and get this. It's not quite a Gepard turret.
Why
of
is
course,
this
but
not
It's
8.0?
very similar in function. This is going to be a speedy wheelie boy SPAA, radar SPAA, with two 13.5mm guns. I can see this thing being quite interesting to face, I have to say.
Interesting.
I'm not going to take this out in test
it looks
drive.
pretty
Currently,
awesome.
again, since things are work in progress, the radar array does not work on this current build. It will, of course, work for the final release. But I'm actually really quite excited for this one. And it also helps in fleshing out some of the SPA issues, I suppose, that Britain has.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, the
I
marksman
believe this one at
exists,
the
you
moment,
know,
it doesn't
like
get
that's the thing.
DM23 Sabo auxiliary belt. I don't believe it does. No.
It does not. It only has
Just
the
the
API.
Okay.
I thought at least it has a full belt.
Oh.
You
Yeah,
don't
that's
have a
the point.
limited belt in that.
Yeah.
Why is this
As you
8.3?
can see, you don't have any night vision, you don't have any thermals for this. It's an SPA, radar SPA. You don't even have surface-to-air missiles for this. It's a lower-tier radar SPA with still has a laser rangefinder and engine smoke and speed. Yes,
Speed.
speedy boy.
I mean, I
And
suppose
you're
you can take it over the marksman
Okay, so this is of course not all.
But
There
the
are
marksman
more
has
South African vehicles
DM23
coming. There's some that are not even
at 8.0. So
shown here in Tech Tree right now. There's
That
stuff
kinda
that is not
sucks.
finished that we can't show just quite yet, but you know, just to tease you for some of the stuff coming. And this is looking.
oh
really
shit,
fresh out now,
the
like this.
TTD.
Yeah, it adds a lot.
So-
of,
oh, they're putting in the
adaptability to
TTD.
ISOs, which Britain didn't really.
Oh,
have,
that's cool.
up until now, which is really
That's
nice,
awesome to
and
see.
It'd be a good time to.
Didn't realise they were putting that in.
adds, though,
Nice.
more mobility because before they had a
Hopefully,
couple,
the South Africa
of
videos we did
pretty
recently
mobile
helped you
vehicles,
guys
but the majority were
with a bit of
fairly slow
information
systems,
about these
the
vehicles.
challenges, they not necessarily the challenges, not necessarily incredibly slow, but not really mobile either. So this adds a lot more adaptability, which is really, really nice. And it's going to be really sweet to see how this turns
this
out.
little thing.
Are you enthralled?
I'm in awe.
It looks like I used to have a money box as a chid.
This is what
It looks like
happens when you
those
mainly
money
fight in
saving pits, doesn't
deserts.
it?
Yeah, there's like, I don't know, when they kind of squish the tanks, it was like that. I had a little money box, just like that.
I love
Just like that. He
it.
did.
All right, and finally, lads, we have ourselves some new additions to the naval tech trees as well.
Oh,
which
there it
we're
is.
Going to go over. Starting off with.
Yes, the Isuzu. We will have a brief look over all the ships.
Isuzu?
I haven't really had much of an opportunity to try them out, but I will just go over the
3 dual
statistics
mounted
and the
5
modifications,
inches
so if
and
you
a
want
bunch
to,
of 25s.
save any of this information, screenshots,
No
anything
AP.
like that, you can have a look through.
Oh,
Model's pretty nice. I like the look of this thing.
hi
with the little
Cruiser.
tower here.
Nice to
Kinda-
see you.
kinda pretty. What do you?
I'm
having a
trying to
little-
show
Don't
the-
be too hard on the dicking.
There you go. Having a lean he is. And we'll just take a look at the armor here.
I
don't
mean,
have
it's got a lot of
much
AA
to
guns.
add for these vehicles.
Pity cruisers are gonna dick
Functionally,
you.
as it's gonna,
So
I haven't really had the opportunity to play much naval. But
That's a
hopefully I can
shame.
take a look at everything present, so you can see it for yourself before being able to test it out on the dev server.
these guns,
Soon TM.
The big old
like
TM
this
there.
is
This is the
what, a
Isuzu. We
post-World War
also
II machine,
have
it looks
a
like.
new frigate for Britain, the Whitby class.
hey the
I
Whitby.
like the sloping here. It's just
4-3,
pleases my brain.
dead on
This little
arrival.
thing. It goes.
Jesus
Little bit up.
Christ!
Looks a bit like a
Please
cargo
don't
ship,
put
to be
it at
honest.
4-3.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But
Please,
it's pretty. I like that.
please
I
don't
believe
put
this
it
is
at
the turret on
4-3.
the Australian version of the Battle class. I think this is the same turret.
You
on there.
cannot put this
Only
at
a
the
single
same
turret with
BR
some
as
torpedoes at the
the
back and some
as the
mortars
4-3
here,
British
and I think
destroyers.
It's got the Stag AA here as well. Yes, it does. So pretty nice, unique vehicle at the end of the coastal fleet line.
Does it get
Pretty
AP?
nice vehicle.
It's got some
Visually-
funky looking mortar launchers.
Yes, it does. Very funky.
It's a really lovely
Well
model.
placed word there. I know. I like it.
Hopefully,
I like the
we
look.
can use
Visually,
those launches to be able to get
And
that battle
finally as well,
pass
we
challenge.
have the Dreadnought here as well.
That one's gonna be rough.
Which is
The
a little
depth
bit
charge
faster
one.
than the current top tier, the Helgoland. It's one less turret, I believe, but it is a little bit faster. So again, some improvements, some drawbacks there. Overall, a nice ship.
Big
I'll
gun,
take a look at
lot
the
of armor.
for you as
Boom,
well
boom.
to, I don't know, go through, screenshot, anything. you
Rip
like.
Italy. There you
I
go.
believe Italy gets one as well.
Italy does, yeah. It gets the
Wait.
Etna.
Not the Kaiser, of course.
No, sadly not. Gets the Etna here
Oh.
with the same 135.
God,
millimeter guns. So there's another
thought they were
cruiser
gonna
that
say a
uses those and a
battleship there.
destroyer as well.
Never mind.
And also, I believe these secondaries here. These
3 dual
65mm
135s,
secondaries,
10
it's a
65s?
new
That's an
type.
odd.
I believe I
one.
think we have 65mm.
21
guns,
20
up to
millimeters.
this point,
Okay.
so that's kind of cool.
Actually, that's right. I've never seen a 65mm before.
Yeah. So it's pretty nifty. Some nice
Oh.
buffing out
Oh, I like
the
the I
others
like
here,
the
with some
the
nice
lifeboats.
I'm a fan.
That's cool.
Big fan.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Of course, lads.
The
this is
4-7
not
Italian
all the
lineup's pretty
vehicles
good
that
already.
will be coming in this next patch. We have much more that we haven't not shown you. You will be able to figure out some of those in the dev server. Maybe some of them will be kept as surprises for the launch day. Now, since we still have a little bit of time left, we are going to ask the chat. Oh yes, friends. So, right, we don't have.
What was that statement? They're gonna save some for launch day? No, the whole. I mean, at least one of the points of the dev server is to test stuff. What if it's busted? Like, oh, I don't know about that one. I don't like that thought.
Have anything for friends right now. I believe there is something coming though.
There's
could
nothing
be
for
some
friends.
It's not ready. It's not ready quite yet, but there is something coming for friends. That's what we can tell you. In the meantime, whilst we wait for some questions from the chat, I'm going to fly around once again in
Poor
the
friends.
A7D, just showing off the TV view, the Huds, and showing off the.
I mean, if this
pickups of the
comes
missile as well.
if this
Now,
comes out
the
like early
AGM-65,
March,
currently as it
then,
stands, it's again work in progress. Stuff is not quite finished.
if
You
it
can
comes
actually
out
launch
early
the
March,
targets
then
up
we've
to,
got
like,
plenty of time
11
for dev
kilometers
servers
away,
and stuff.
depending on the conditions. It depends, of course, if you have enough daylight. If it's nighttime, it's probably not going to be that good.
Nighttime,
If it's cloud
daytime,
overcast, if the enemy's using smoke, all that good stuff, it's all going to be affecting the tracking of the missile itself.
daytime.
But currently, it only has a maximum range of around 5 to 6 kilometers before it explodes. Although I believe that should be a bit higher by release.
shall see.
Okay.
Yeah, we shall see. In the meantime, I'm going to go to the view again. Now, you do have a certain limit of how far you can use this camera. This is completely independent of the direction of your plane flying, by the way, so I can fly in one direction and keep flying that direction, and use the camera to lock on to that tank over there and fire the missile independently. Keep in mind the missile is not the most maneuverable, so if you fire it too late or if you yourself are going too fast, there is a chance for the missile to not be able to make the turn to hit the target. And of course, the less straight you fire the missile, the less accurate it is going to be. It's not a 100% guaranteed hit chance. You have to kind of balance it out between flying directly.
I'm just glad you can't take those guns and these things.
Whilst at the same time using capabilities of the Maverick to...
I tell you what though,
that's really the main
you can spawn in your attacker spawn in aerialistic, lock medium tanks, fire, kill 4 medium tanks, go back to base, take off, do the same thing again.
What do we have?
I feel like sim players are going to abuse the shit out of this.
Right now on this build, I can't actually confirm if they will have them. Again, this is just the first iteration, this is the first plane we have with the virtual HUD. Since this plane was also introduced in a previous patch, I guess it's pretty safe to say that other planes will also get updated to have their proper heads-up displays.
I hope so. It looks nice, it looks good.
I don't think so. I can't recall one. I don't think so right now, no. At least none that are available on this preview build right now.
Yeah. And for somebody asking on Twitch, the F5 currently is after the F104G in the tech tree. So after
makes sense.
Plane there.
I don't think it's a 10-7 though.
I'm going to see how far away I can lock onto this SPA from here.
Like, not even the
so
F1 is a 10-7.
In the camera. Keep in mind, of course, if you're using this in a ground forces realistic battle, you are going to have some trouble trying to spot the target yourself, as we shown in the custom battle where I couldn't find Tom at first. Now we are locked on.
Ooh,
the missile will keep its lock on by itself. I do have to get a bit closer to fire the missile off though. And we're going to see.
That he do.
Honest Potente on Twitch asks, dev server opening later. Not today, but soon, TM.
Thank God it didn't come out today. I would have been screwed.
Big old TM. That's all we're going to say for now. I'm going to fire this missile and see if it actually reaches. That's about 5.5 kilometers away.
So if you don't have missile AA or radar AA, like our boy, the China,
can I catch up to it?
Yeah, fuck.
Can I catch up to it? No? Yes? No? No, not quite.
No.
Ooh, I forgot to show you actually the stats currently for this missile, which are...
Yeah, the stats for it are nutty.
Very impressive, actually.
Very impressive, I have to say.
And it makes sense that they're nutty,
this is what you can currently equip to your plane. These are the new loadouts over here. You can carry Mavericks with AIM-9Es and bombs if you want to. Up to 2,000-pound bombs, which are really quite powerful. You can also carry 4 Mavericks and 2 AIM-9Js.
Look at that pen.
Best of both worlds
Literally nothing is stopping
that. So you can
that.
attack both ground and air targets quite effectively. And those are the stats right here.
Launch range is 6, lock range is 20.
51 kilogram explosive filler and quite a bit of penetration. This is a very powerful missile.
Wowzers. Trousers, Mike.
Now the Russians, of course, do get stuff as well. The Su-17 will get more missiles. They're just not quite ready to show just yet. Also a little Easter egg over there.
Oh,
in fact, maybe more Easter egg.
Maybe.
Nope. What am I doing? Actually, you do have it, don't you? You have it.
I do.
What is he on about?
Easter egg.
Lurking in the corner.
Something Easter egg.
What could this be?
I don't know what it is, honestly.
Oh, that
sounds weird. I don't think that exists.
I don't think so.
I just don't think that exists.
Imagine being the Soviet Union
fact,
and creating a 1960s jet which has worse performance than a 1940s jet.
My brain always goes to cake. I don't even like
Why?
Cake. It's just that's the first thing. Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
There you go. You can see some of the missiles that are planned for this vehicle that are not currently ready for showing as well. Some of these are quite powerful.
God, these are huge.
Now, I believe the first 2 are guided very similarly. I think this one is a laser guided one, but they are still mouse aimed. This one I'm
mouse aim
sure
is fine.
But it seems to be pretty powerful.
Also, something else I don't think has been mentioned is that a lot of other vehicles have been given the strike aircraft or attacker designation. So a lot of the vehicles here, the A1U4, 262, the Dorniers.
Oh, awesome! So they'll actually be useful for dailies and specials now.
Overall, there's a couple
beautiful stuff. Well, so awesome. Could you check Britain, please?
109, I think the British.
Come on, yes,
some of the Firefly.
Yes, wonderful.
Will have this
lovely
designation as well.
That's a wonderful little change.
I think pretty much all the vehicles that should have the designation now do. So that's just another little tech tree change as well there.
Beautiful.
Pretty much
That's
overall,
great.
all the new vehicles there.
And I think that is going to be it for this preview stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
A lot of good stuff there. Not really a lot to be unhappy about. I think, you know, we're going to have a look around that new map quite a lot, because it seems there's a lot of stuff going on it. You know, there's a lot of different things. A few of the mechanics, I'm a bit worried about balance-wise, but we'll only find out about that stuff, you know, a few months after the update. At least the stuff that they showed, there didn't seem to be many issues with it, like bugs or anything like that. France, like, they should get the SK-105. Like that, that would fix that issue. Everything shown looked pretty cool. I don't really have any negatives apart from that one comment about saving stuff for the update. I think that's the wrong mindset to have, especially since we've had vehicles in the past which have been quote-unquote saved for the update, and they've been either broken on launch or they have several bugs with them. I would hope that at least through playing them on the dev server, there would be at least a few reports on it. Whereas if it's just patch day, there's not a lot you can do. You know, kind of as simple as that. But yeah, overall a very good stream. A lot of cool stuff, and at the same time, I'm gonna try and fix my computer and try and get it done. I would like to thank you all for obviously being here. I know it's a little bit late for some of you guys, so you know, thanks for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow. If there is a dev server, we'll be on at the required time. If there isn't a dev server, then we will be on at the normal afternoon time.